Holla ballers! What's going on? It's Preacher, and it's time for my class. Oh, yes, indeed. The Warrior is out, unleashed. And I have not looked at the community, as I said in my Shaman video, to see what they're saying, although I have some predictions. I certainly have some predictions. Before we get into the Warrior, the usual caveat applies. This is the foundation of the spec, the absolute minimum basics. We've already had things like Overpower and Heroic Strike, all confirmed as talents for the DPS specs, so this is missing a lot of stuff. We won't find out the talents for a little while yet, and neither will we find out what's buried deep within our artifact weapons. This is just a general playstyle, the super basic. They have said there are multiple tiers, giving you multiple choices of stuff to add to the Warriors gameplay. So please bear that in mind as we go forward. And also subject to change. Arms. Let us begin. The two-hander. Across culture and kingdom, men and women who demonstrate great physical aptitude are transformed into mighty warriors through tests of strength, endurance, and fighting capability. Their friendships are forged not in the classroom, tavern, or workshop, but in the dueling pits and on the arena floor. As a childhood of sparring defines a warrior's destiny, so too does one's choice of weapon determine their role on the battlefield. Arms warriors gravitate towards two-handed weapons instinctively. It's more than a matter of preference. It speaks to the character of the wielder. Arms warriors are patient in a fight, waiting to capitalize on moments when an opponent is left exposed. Two-handed weapons allow them to deliver devastating, overpowering blows, fully exploiting their enemy's weaknesses. Yes, they do! Patience, patience, patience! Note the word patience! Colossus Smash. Let's look at Colossus Arms Smash Colossus. It's all about the Colossus Smash. Oh, good God. Oh, good God, that fucking spell, that day it was introduced. I mean, I'm not a fan. A lot of people love it, right? It's just my personal opinion. I hate the Colossus Smash windows. It's so dull outside it that it just bugs me no end that it exists as like, wait, go! Ah! Oh, wait, whoa, prodding. I don't like that playstyle. It doesn't feel like an arms warrior who's tactically trying to counter a fight. I don't know, thematically it doesn't fit for me. But onwards and onwards. So a lot of the spells are still there, which is why I haven't bothered adding them in. So Slam's coming back. Well, it's already here, but it's now baseline. Slam, Mortal Strike, Execute, all that stuff is still there. And, of course, Colossus Smash. However, Colossus Smash is now a 45-second cooldown. Lordy. 45-second cooldown. Melee range, instant, free. Smashes the enemy's armor. It deals massive physical damage. And it increases the damage you deal to them by 20% for 6 seconds. 45-second cooldown, 6-second debuff. Okay? This is how the new Colossus Smash will work. We then gain Tactician, a passive. Slam, Whirlwind, and Execute can reset Colossus Smash. 20% chance per target hit to reset the cooldown on Colossus Smash. That Whirlwind, though. That Whirlwind, okay? Our mastery is Colossal Might. Increase the damage of Colossus Smash and cause it to increase damage taken. Okay? Good lord. Our talent that they're showing off. Titanic Might Colossus. Passive Colossally Smash. Increase the Colossus-y duration of Colossus Smash by 200 spent Spashy. But halves its a colossally effective smashiness. Okay? So you get 50% colossal effective smashiness. It's all about the Colossus Smash. All about the Colossus Smash. So, there's not really much for me to say here. You know this stuff. If you played an Arms Warrior, and I assume you have, right? I want you to watch these with a basic understanding of the specs. It's all about the Colossus Smash. Building into that window, making sure that when you're going to activate that Colossus Smash, right? It's a 45-second cooldown, so no fucking about here, noobs. You've got to get it squared, tied up, real nice and tidy, yeah? Shave those pubes. Get it ready. Colossus Smash, go ham! 6 seconds to unleash the fury within. And then you've got to slow it down, and then you've got decisions to make. And this is where it's going to become more important. Slam, Whirlwind, and Execute can all reset Colossus Smash, depending on how many targets hit. Obviously, it's leaning towards Whirlwind there in some AoE scenarios. So what you're going to be doing is building Rage and using your other talents and stuff, which we don't know about yet. And then you're going to make the decision am I ready to reset my Colossus Smash? Right? And it could work one of two ways. If we go to some potential gameplay stuff here, it's going to work one of two ways. Either it's going to be better to get as many Colossus Smashes out as possible, or it's going to be better, which is what I predict they're going for, is to be patient, as it mentions in the blurb. Yeah? As it mentions in the blurb. Wait until you are ready to do something with Colossus Smash, and then go for the proc on resetting it. I highly doubt you will ever be sat waiting for that 45-second cooldown. That's not the way this is supposed to work. You'll be using Mortal Strike on cooldown, as normal. Yeah, big damage, big dick damage, wiping the penis. And then you're going to be setting up for, I want my Colossus Smash now. And they've give you a good way of activating. I mean, 20% isn't a lot by any means. I mean, you could get 5 slams out and not proc it. That's entirely possible. It's entirely possible. But that's going to take you a little bit of time to get done. And you'll be generating range in the meantime. But in general, it looks like you're going to be waiting and waiting. Now I'm ready to reset my Colossus Smash and using slams to do that. Yeah, if it's single target, you're using slams to do that. And the fact that Execute does it is brilliant. Absolutely genius. Execute's going to do it. So while you're in that Execute phase, you're like, I need Colossus Smash. I need it. You're not going to have to be like, well, I'm going to slam instead of Execute to try and proc my Colossus Smash. Ideally, a good warrior is certainly going to be taking advantage of ads in this scenario. Yeah, going to be doing that kind of thing. So this is just the general playstyle. Super basic so far, but as we know, there's definitely more spells coming to fit into ARMS. So, do I like it? I want to see how it plays, honestly. I want to see if it plays how I hope it plays, which is building up and setting up for Colossus Smash, and not just waiting for the window to come. That's one of the things I really disliked about the Colossus Smash windows in general, was waiting for it to happen. And obviously they then introduced trinkets, which allowed it to work a bit easier than that. But it got overpowered, as most of you well know who've played Endgame ARMS Warriors and WoD. It was just waiting for it to happen. That was what was annoying. And its previous Kata incarnation, where we essentially just used it for the debuff, and we could get it, you know, pretty regularly, that was kind of okay, but it did no damage. And it's now trying to mix two aspects. It's trying to mix Kata and Mop and WoD all together into this big melting pot of Colossus Smashiness. It looks okay. It's not super interesting. It isn't. I mean, there's still potential there for 45 seconds where you're waiting to do the good stuff. I mean, that's a long fucking time, guys. It's a really long time to be waiting and just slamming it didn't proc. Alright, wait again. Because what you can't do is the important thing here, is you can't just go slam, trying to proc it, because then you'll get Colossus Smash, this mega important thing, and you've got nothing to do in it. You haven't got the rage to go ham in that. You haven't got the rage to take advantage of this 6-second window. So hopefully it's going to work out quite nicely. I would like to see the slam proc up to like probably 50%, if I'm being honest. So we can get set up for it. That should be the skill, is setting up to be able to do something in Colossus Smash and then forcing the proc to happen. That's what I would really like to see. So let's move on to Fury. You know why I'm laughing. Probably some of you anyway. Okay, on to Fury. On the battlefield and in the arena, the most feared combatants are often the furious berserkers who lust for battle and thirst for blood. Through a lifetime of training and sparring, these merciless warriors have become masters of carnage, often wielding a weapon in each hand to maximize the destruction. Even without the protection of a shield, the Fury Warrior leaves little opportunity for an opponent to strike without suffering grievous wounds in return. Delivered in a whirlwind of blades that dooms anyone in its wake, brute force becomes a breathtaking display when Fury Warriors relentlessly dive into the fray. Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. I'm not even going to drag it out, because I'm sure most of you probably... How many of you have clicked along to this first? I wonder. Please let me know down below if you click the Warrior video and were like, I want to see what it says about Fury. Let's get straight into it then. A lot of changes here. Bloodthirst still remains the same, although it heals for a lot more now. 5% of your health. It still generates 10 rage, and it can still enrage you, right? It still has the passive 40% chance to be a critical strike, everything you used to. So the first change is enrage. It's a passive, obviously, as you probably well know if you've played Fury before. It now doubles your attack speed and increases your damage taken by 30%. I haven't looked. I guarantee this is the only thing people are talking about with Fury right now. And it's Okay, let's talk about it. Let me give you my opinion on it. The tweets. I checked the tweets without checking much of the feedback, and there's counters to this already. They're going to buff your health by like 31% as a Fury Warrior. You're going to get huge bonuses to HP to counter this. It's for flavor. It is for class flavor, and it's something that Warriors kind of used to have, but we'll get into that shortly. The idea is with Fury, the class fantasy, which is a big focus of Legion across every single class and spec. The idea with Fury is that you just are basically completely insane. You are absolutely insane, and it doesn't matter what's happening, it just makes you angrier and attack faster and bloodier and nastier. Right? That's the general class fantasy they're going for. And they're mixing that in by giving you extra damage taken, to give you the feeling that you are unbridled rage that's not trying to prevent any damage coming to you. You're just trying to kill something before it kills you. That's what they're going for here. And they've implemented this to add to that flavor. And they've countered it by giving you more HP. In a real-world scenario, I imagine a lot of people are reading that 30% as just a flat number. Now, they've already said this number is not set in stone at all. It'll probably change. How big a deal is it? Let's put some real-world scenarios in there. A lot of the healing you take as a raid DPS is overhealing. That's pretty normal. If a spell or something is designed to kill you, it is designed around the idea that you will be under the effects of cooldowns from other people. What I'm trying to say, in a very, very real-world scenario, this hurts bad players quite a lot who are taking excess damage. A decent player is not going to suffer from this, and Blizzard is... I'm putting this in the context, okay, before you all lose your minds. I'm putting this in the context that Blizzard is actively outspoken about the fact that this, whatever the final number will be, will absolutely not be an issue. And I think that's probably achievable. I do. However, it's fucking ridiculous to expose this to people who aren't going to put this in context, or are just going to instantly lose their minds when they see 30. Which is a lot of people. I have no doubt that it's a huge amount of people who read that and went, bullshit, we're sat on the bench, raid leader will never take us, what if I have a dot though, and it does this damage? And I'm not trying to make your opinion sound like a mockery there, which I kind of did by accident, I apologise. But the fact of the matter is, it isn't that big of a deal. It really isn't, because if it was supposed to kill you at 100% of, 100%, not all 0% damage taken, the 30% isn't going to make a difference. If it's otherwise, it's not going to make a difference. What they could and should have done, though they could have, should have done, is not include this line, because it was guaranteed, it was only going to end badly. It was only going to end badly. They could have quite simply brought back original Recklessness and Death Wish. And that would have cured the issue completely. They didn't have to do that, and they could have added to the class fantasy. I'm saying to you, realistically speaking, if the balancing is done right, which they're trying to do, and they're obviously already on the defensive, and this 30% isn't even the final number, apparently, right? Realistically, it doesn't actually make a difference. Although I know some people will never ever believe me on that. I'm just saying, in the real world scenario, after 10 years experience, it's not a big deal. What I am telling you, though, is they could have achieved the same fantasy without doing this. They could have put in Classic Death Wish, Classic Recklessness. Let me tell you a little story to go alongside this, because I know this is going to be a huge deal for probably the next few days. Is leveling my warrior, about level 46-ish, I want to say, Searing Gorge. Whatever the level that was in vanilla. I was in Searing Gorge. And I was killing spiders just down near the entrance to Blackrock Mountain, Searing Gorge side. And suddenly Shadow Word Pain landed on me. And I turned around and I saw the first Shadow Priest I had ever seen in World of Warcraft. This is in vanilla. My first character. There's the first Shadow Priest I had ever seen in my entire life. And he was level 60, I presume, because it was question mark or skull or whatever the fuck it is. And he started to try and kill me. And I was taking loads of damage. And I was attacking him. And I was like, oh my god, I'm not doing anything here. So he must be way high level. And as I was definitely going to die, I did what a warrior should do. I popped fucking Recklessness and Death Wish on this motherfucker. And I won. I died afterwards due to dot damage. But that is the fantasy of the warrior who's about to die and comes back and pops all these things saying, I know I'm about to die, so I'm going at you like a big fucking truck, right? And I won. I won. Probably now people would complain that that's not balanced, but in vanilla it didn't fucking matter, right? That's the fantasy. If you give people the ability to take more damage, all right, so I'm going to use this DPS cooldown like Death Wish, and I know that I will take more damage because that's part of the trade-off of using Death Wish. Players are fine with that because they can control it. The problem is, Enrage can't be getting rid of. You can't click off Enrage. You can't, like, calm yourself down. There's no Black Widow going to come along and start stroking your hand and singing you lullabies. That's not going to happen. So, yeah, it's The actual 100%, let's get back on topic then. The 100% attack speed buff is awesome. So much rage coming from that, and this really plays into how Fury is going to go long term. The damage taker thing doesn't need to exist in its current incarnation. They can add it elsewhere and still get the same class fantasy, and it's just going to needlessly cause people outrage. Raging Blow is now 10 rage, no charges or anything now. It's big dick deeps, and you have to be enraged. So the general idea is while you're enraged, you're going to be using Raging Blow over and over and over and over again, right? For as much rage as you have. And then they've introduced a spell called Rampage. Way expensive, 50 rage. It does 5 strikes over 10 seconds, and it acts as if you are enraged. This is your mega rage dump, essentially. Okay? There's obviously only a certain amount of Raging Blows you're going to be able to fit into your enraged period of time. It lasts for 6 seconds now. Okay, they've reduced it down. You're enraged, it now lasts for 6 seconds. So there's only going to be a certain amount of Raging Blows you've got in there. So they've added in Rampage to offset the amount of rage you're doing. The idea, obviously, is that 50 rage is that 5 Raging Blows should out DPS Rampage at every single occasion, right? So it's a rage dump is essentially what it is. And you don't have to be enraged to use it. They haven't done anything to counter the idea of the randomness of Fury Warrior. It's still there, whether you're Bloodthirst. If you just get a really nasty streak of non-crit Bloodthirst, you still have Rampage to deal with. Okay? You still have that. It's not a channeled spell by any means or anything like that. It just adds these 5 strikes in as a big rage dump. So you will be sort of sitting on your hands. But again, we haven't seen the talents yet, so that's sort of offsetting that idea that you won't be doing anything. There might be spells. Overpower might not require enraged. We don't know. Heroic Strike might not. We don't know, okay? There might be other ways to become enraged, including Berserker Rage, obviously. There might be ways of reducing that cooldown. They might even say something like Rampage reduces the cooldown of Berserker Rage. I would be happy to see that in there as well. If a 50 rage cost, I think that's fair. The talent they showed was Frenzy at 15 rage, where you slash at the target, increasing haste by 5% for 10 seconds at 5 stacks. So not only do we double our attack speed through enrage, you then get another 25% haste for 10 seconds. Obviously, you'll be maintaining this buff. This thing is just going to be a blur of blades. A blur of blades is what Fury is going to be. An absolute fundamental blur of blades, and that's pretty cool. So a simple guess at basic Fury will be Bloodthirst on cooldown as normal to proc Enrage, Raging Blow while enraged, and Rampage if you're over 80 rage, because that seems to offset the amount of Raging Blows you'll be able to do with the Bloodthirst mixed in and so on and so forth. And that's generally the playstyle it's going to be, sans talents. So I know you guys are going to either call me a dick or you're going to discuss this. What I encourage you to do in the comments section, if you've made it this far without already tagging a comment, is discuss the class flavor versus practicality. Because there's no doubt about it, taking 30% extra damage is impractical in comparison to other people. I don't think it's going to kill you or be that much of a difference, because a lot of stuff when people throw like a rejuve or a renew on you, which is most raid healing these days, is actually overhealing in certain scenarios. Big AoE scenarios, it could definitely be a problem. I'm not saying it definitely won't be a problem. I'm saying it can be countered effectively, but it doesn't need to be, which I think is the important thing here. It didn't need to be this way to add that class flavor in. It just wasn't worth it. Let's do protection then. My main spec. Here we go. Protection. Like their counterparts, protection warriors are virtually bred for physical dominance, having been raised in the art of close quarters combat, but their measured approach to battle is what distinguishes them from their comrades in arms. They demonstrate an uncanny knack for blade and shield, nullifying an opponent's advances and creating opportunities for counterattacks. For the protection warrior, being the toughest soldier on the front means nothing if allies are left vulnerable to the enemy's attack. Stalwart defenders are integral to the success of any military campaign. The protection warrior seeks to be an unbreakable wall. Yeah, that's all the tank wants to be. Unbreakable! That's all I want! Am I asking too much, Blizz? Am I to be unbreakable, unkillable, undamageable, unhittable? God damn it! That's all I want to be. The protection warrior. What's changed? Shield barrier's gone. Hallelujah. You fucking nonsense spell. Hallelujah. Go fuck yourself. Bye-bye. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Oh, hell yeah. Fucking stupid spell. Shield barrier. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Whatever the fuck that magical bubble shield I was creating was. I was like, ooh, look at my magic bubble shield that I can make through rage. I get so angry, mate. I make magical bubbles appear. Alright, Okay, sure, whatever. They've introduced some more defensive stuff. I'll skim over the offensive stuff real quickly, and then we'll get into the defensive tanking side. Because the offensive stuff, do we really care? Not really. So, Devastate still sticks around. Can 30% reset your Shield Slam. Shield Slam obviously still remains. Revenge now hits everything. Crazy. It hits everything and generates 4 rage. It's now, you can't like proc all the time though. It's once every 3 seconds. So, Mega Chain revenges aren't a thing anymore. Boo! Thunderclap, Deep Wounds, all still there. And of course, Heroic Strike is there. Not on the global cooldown. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Right, let's get into the defensive stuff. So, Shield Block is now 10 rage. Alright, so don't lose your minds. It's on the charge system, similar to most of the other tank stuff. So we get 2 charges with a 12-second recharge. It still does the same thing. Oh, good. We now get, in replacement of the magical mystery bubble, Ignore Pain, 40 rage. Instant. You fight through the pain, ignoring 90% of the next, up to 25% of maximum health, total damage that you take from any sources. I'm so glad they included that. I'm so glad they included that 25% of maximum health thing. Because I just thought, can I activate Ignore Pain? And it's 90% of the next attack, and I'm fighting like 12 adds, and it just disappears on something really measly, and it's like 40 rage for nothing. No. So it gets this limit, so you will always get benefit from Ignore Pain. And Ignore Pain makes, in terms comparatively to Shield Barrier, makes way more sense. Because I'm so angry, I'm fighting through the pain and ignoring it while pushing on and striving forward. So it's a great compliment to Shield Block. And this is our primary rage spender now, guys, okay? Because like I said, Shield Block costs 10 rage. And this wonderful, wonderful baby, Ignore Pain, is the particular way we're going to use it. And God, it gives us choice, right? It gives us choice. Where are we going to use this? And some people are just going to be spamming this. That's going to be wrong. We're going to be weaving it in with Shield Block and then looking for those big attacks. But now, oh, praise Jesus. Spell Reflection reduces magical damage taken by 30%. For 5 seconds. Oh, you. Oh, Blizz. Have a kiss. Have a little kiss. Finally. It used to exist in one form. I'm trying to think. I think it was Wrath of the Lich King. It did something similar. And then they took it away. It's like, why can I reflect a spell, but in no way can I reduce the magical damage I take? Why? That makes no sense. I don't understand. At least I can shine my shield up real nice and maybe skim that off. So it's a 25-second cooldown. That's fine. That is absolutely fine. If it's coming to Dragon's Breath and all that kind of stuff, 25 seconds is fine. Manaroth, your massive blast, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Instead of me putting magical mystery barrier up, I'm going to drop a big spell reflect and a 40 rage Ignore Pain on you. Oh, what's up? Right? I'm just going to do that to you now, and I'm just going to laugh in your face as all these paladins and monks and whatever just roll around near me. All good. I'm happy with all this. More than happy. As a tank's tank, as what I personally consider myself a tank's tank, this is fine with me. The talent they showed was Shield Discipline. Shield Slam extends block, and block increases Shield Slam's damage. Couldn't care less. Fucking boring. Whatever. Am I going to start spamming Shield Slam and Devastate and Shield Block every time to get those extra 2 seconds? No, I'm just going to use Shield Block properly. Yeah, so I don't really care about that stuff. But, yeah, baby. I am more than happy with the proc changes. More than happy. That's cool to me. Better damage reduction. Better active mitigation. Toot sweet. I'll take it every day. Those are my thoughts on the Warriors, guys. Have a great day. Let me see your comments down below. 30% extra damage, eh?